Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will be talking about the problems with Cold War being skill-based matchmaking, lack of content, map design, playstyle, all that good stuff that you guys like to hate and that a lot of the community likes to hate on. But first, let me do a little shameless plug. Leave a like, subscribe. I have been kind of struggling on YouTube as of late, so every like and subscribe helps me and shows that you guys are truly liking what I'm putting out. But let's get back from the plug, back to the video. We're starting with skill-based matchmaking, and a lot of people hate skill-based matchmaking. Their suggestions to fix the skill-based matchmaking problem is pretty simple. Take out skill-based matchmaking, add a ranked play with the current skill-based matchmaking system. Because in the current system, a lot of people feel like they aren't rewarded in the sense that they're having to play against very good players and they're not earning a rank, they're not earning anything, they're just playing good players while trying to play casually. And I can see that. A lot of people hate the fact that they're sweats. I personally would consider myself a sweat. I don't know if other people would. Maybe I'm twice a sweat. I don't know. The point is that as a sweat, I do think skill-based matchmaking is needed. There is no reason I should be playing with noobs. And in my opinion, I've been playing with some good players. There's some games where I've been playing with some players that aren't exactly to my skill level, but I do think skill-based matchmaking can be reduced by a slight amount to fix it, and then the addition of a ranked gameplay, a ranked mode, should help. I think no matter what, there should be a ranked mode. There should not be there should always be a ranked mode in COD for players who want to, try really hard and, play the objective, do all that stuff, while also being able to, play with people their skill levels. And I think it should be slightly decreased. It's still needed to help some of the bad players, but still allows some of the good players to play good players, but not as strong for, the mid-tier players, more of the casual players, more of those type of players. Next, we're going to be talking about lack of content. Now, it kind of goes in with skill-based matchmaking, and that's part of the reason a lot of people hate this game is because of skill-based matchmaking. And I definitely say skill-based matchmaking, and I'm saying it way too much, but it is a lot stronger than what it was in Modern Warfare. And Modern Warfare is dropping a 2KD, and by 2KD, I mean an actual 2KD, not the elims to death ratio that we have in Cold War, but an actual 2KD. But lack of content, let's get back to that topic. Let's talk about it. There are 8 maps. 2 of them come, 8 6v6 maps is what I'm talking about. 2 of the maps come from 12v12 maps. So lack of content launch. And we've seen that for the last few Call of Duties, where we're seeing a lot of really just, I wouldn't say lazy per se. A lot of people would say lazy, but a lot of just lack of content in people's eyes, as a lot of the earlier CODs and, games were being released with 10, 20, not 20, but actually I do think there's a COD that was posted with 20, but 12, 15, 16 multiplayer maps at launch. Now we're really only getting, for multiplayer, especially for 6v6, we're getting 7, 8, 9, 10 maps for the 6v6 eligibility. Obviously, now there is free DLC for pretty much all of those games that release the content late. So a lot of the content that was probably supposed to be for the game that was supposed to be released at launch was held back to say, ooh, yeah, we're giving these free DLCs, when there's a good chance that they were supposed to be on launch. Who really knows? Then the weapons. A lot of people are complaining about the lack of weapons. Lack of maps is, a lot of people are already saying they're bored of the maps. Obviously, December 16th now, I think, is the new date when we're getting Season 1 and all the maps. Raid is set to come back as well. But weapons, there's basically 5 weapons in the kind of main, most used classes in the assault rifles, SMGs, 4 tactical rifles, 3 snipers, 2 pistols, 2 shotguns, which are secondaries. I actually don't know how many LMGs because I have not looked at the LMG class once. But compared to Modern Warfare, there's a lot more weapons at launch. There's a lack of really just weapons instead of, and as content, so a lot of people are frustrated. And I think the reason Treyarch kind of did this with the lack is because they figured, oh, well, we're going to release free DLC content, which is going to consist of around 2 weapons per update and a mid-season weapon. So they figured, well, eventually we'll have similar numbers and released all this content. And I think that's what people are pissed off about, is that Treyarch is saving a lot of the content for later in the cycle, which it is. And a lot of the maps, a lot of people are pissed at the maps, and Sledgehammer was set to make this game, and a lot of the maps do feel more like Sledgehammer's maps. And I've seen some people talk about it. These aren't really Treyarch designed maps. Obviously, Nuketown is, but if you think about it, Armada, a lot of those maps are more of Sledgehammer's kind of wheel of thing. Moscow, kind of bigger. A lot of Sledgehammer maps are kind of bigger. I don't think a lot of these maps are Treyarch styles. And that's, again, one of my points is map design. A lot of people don't like the map design because they're still huge kind of battlefield-style maps where there's a lot of abilities to long shots, a lot of lines of sight, all that good stuff. And if you guys hear me like nasally and all that stuff, I'm a little under the weather in a sense, but gotta roll out that content, gotta get that bread. I'm kidding, I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm just making content for the fun of it. But playstyle is what also a lot of people are being annoyed about, is that the playstyle of players is just too slow. There's still a good amount of camping. I don't think there's as much. A lot of people are saying they're getting more camping in the current Black Ops Cold War than in Modern Warfare. I personally don't see what's wrong with the playstyle of players. Yes, it is still fairly slow, but I think there was definitely a lot more camping in Modern Warfare compared to Cold War. Now, the problem with Cold War is the field upgrades in a sense. There's field mics, and there's a perk that you could run too. And I think a part of the reason the camping is definitely down a little bit is the ghost is back to where it should be, where you've got to be moving to not be detected by ghost. And personally, I don't really run ghost. The reason being is I'd rather run gung ho than run ghost. I feel gung ho is an attachment that I prefer to use more, just because I feel like it's more useful to me than running ghost. And spy planes are very often available. There's a lot of ways to detect enemies. There's assassins perk that helps detect enemies, so it's not like you're completely blinded by score streaks like that, and it's not like you can't see players on your mini map like you could in a game like Modern Warfare. So again, the problems with this game, I think Treyarch definitely can fix. I think it's a lot easier to see people in the sense and find people. Yes, the pace of play is definitely still slow, but I think all of this can be fixed, and hopefully it will be fixed by the time Season 1 rolls out.